Cheyenne, standing in a quiet room, held the phone to his ear, his expression cold. "You sent me quite the gift," he said flatly. He glanced down at the sleeping Yevgeny beside him. "Did you really think you'd catch me with Rachel and a child?" The director's smile faded. "Are they both dead?" Cheyenne narrowed his eyes. "Is that how you react?" "You're disappointed," he said. "Is your pride hurt?" He leaned against the table. "You can send as many people as you want. The result will be the same." The director's smile slowly returned, amused now. "I thought you'd just run," he said. "Are you planning to fight the mansion of the dead?" Cheyenne replied calmly, "Why would I run? That's boring." He paused. "If the parent's in danger, the rules say to act." He leaned in slightly. "And under Principle 3, I've judged the mansion of the dead a threat to the parent." His tone dropped. "So I'll destroy it." At that, the director fell to his knees, arms outstretched in joy. His laughter echoed through the dim chamber. "Oh Lord, what a gift!" he cried. "A true, pure blessing." He looked up, grinning like a madman. "Who would have thought you'd be so loyal to your principles?" Cheyenne, gradually calming, the director lowered his gaze, lips curling into a thoughtful smirk. "Let's make a deal," he said. "Send Yevgeny back, and I promise we won't touch that woman." Cheyenne rose from the chair, walking a few steps before stopping. "Tell Rachel," he said, "to come pick up Yevgeny in an hour." The director smiled again, closed his eyes, and pressed the receiver to his forehead. "Oh, Cheyenne," he whispered, "you're so innocent." His voice turned tender. "We'll see each other soon, my treasure." Call ended. Cheyenne walked over to Yevgeny, still slumped over. He poked the boy's forehead with his finger. "Wake up." Yevgeny jolted upright, frowning in confusion. "Don't bother looking for the knife," Cheyenne said coolly. "I took it long ago." He placed a plate of food on the table in front of the boy. "Sit down. Eat." "Didn't you say you were hungry?" Yevgeny glanced at the food and grimaced. Who would eat that? Some time later, they walked down the street side by side. Yevgeny's clothes were stained in sauce, bits of food still stuck to him. Cheyenne chuckled. "So, was it good?" Yevgeny closed his eyes in annoyance. "It wasn't even that tasty." Cheyenne leaned down, hand on the boy's shoulder, teasing. "You still ate all of it." Yevgeny turned his face away, lips tight, but didn't respond. Then Cheyenne suddenly stopped. His eyes lifted to the top of a nearby staircase. Rachel stood there, staring down at them. "Yevgeny," she said calmly, "come here." Yevgeny nodded without protest and began climbing the stairs, walking away from Cheyenne. But before he got too far, Cheyenne called out to him and held out a bag. "Take this," he said calmly, holding the food in his outstretched hand with a soft smile. "I thought you liked it." Rachel glanced at him with disdain. "You're surprisingly calm," she muttered. "But don't think we're finished yet." She didn't take the food. Instead, she gripped Yevgeny's hand and turned to leave. "I'll be seeing you again soon," she warned. Cheyenne didn't react to her threat. His eyes lingered on the bag of food she had rejected. "At his age," he remarked quietly, "he should really be eating more." Rachel offered no reply. As she led Yevgeny away, she leaned in and whispered, "Things would be much easier if you had just handled that woman." Yevgeny looked down, guilt creeping into his face. He opened his mouth to respond, but Rachel cut him off. "We'll get rid of you eventually." Cheyenne, who had started to turn away, stopped in his tracks. His expression darkened slightly. Rachel continued coldly, "It's about time we got rid of useless children." Yevgeny froze, her words cutting deeper than he could process. His eyes went wide, tears welling up, and he whispered, "I'm sorry." Suddenly, Cheyenne appeared behind them, climbing the stairs again. "Hey!" he called out, still holding the food bag with a smile. "Let me ask one more time." He knelt beside Yevgeny. "You really didn't like the food?" Yevgeny turned toward him, eyes streaming now. His voice cracked as he cried, "It was delicious." Cheyenne tilted his head playfully. Really? Yes, Yevgeny exclaimed. Everything at the Hien Ho diner is delicious. Cheyenne smiled warmly. Then maybe we should go back sometime. Ownership of a child within the mansion of the dead belonged to the buyer, the parent. But if the parent died, custody reverted to the mansion. That was how it had been for Yevgeny. One day, a woman approached him and said, "From now on, I'll be your mother." Yevgeny accepted it. That was the routine. When a child returned to the mansion, a new parent would eventually be found and he would be placed in a new family. But before long, that woman died too. And once again, Yevgeny was sent back. This happened several times. When it happened a fourth time, he was summoned by the director. As Yevgeny followed him, the director stopped and asked, "How many times is this now?" "4," Yevgeny answered. The director raised an eyebrow. "That was rhetorical," he said flatly. "Of course we know. For families. For deaths. For failures." He placed a firm hand on the boy's shoulder. "You failed to protect your parents 4 times. That makes you the greatest embarrassment in the history of this institution." Yevgeny's breath caught in his throat. The director gestured to a small gravestone nearby, among many others. "Do you know what happens to children like that?" Yevgeny didn't respond, but his eyes flicked toward the stone markers. The director narrowed his eyes. "Become more useful," he said. Then, standing straighter, he added, "I'm giving you one more chance." He handed him a mission. "Go to Korea. Help Rachel capture Cheyenne. If you don't want to end up like the others, prove that you're worth keeping." Now, back on the staircase, Rachel's cold words echoed in Yevgeny's mind. "We'll get rid of you eventually." Was that really his fate? Was he that useless? Fighting back tears, he turned to her quietly. "Please, give me another chance." She paused and looked at him seriously. "What was that?" "I'm sorry," he whispered. At that moment, Cheyenne reappeared beside them again, repeating his earlier question with a gentle tone. "Yevgeny, is it true you didn't like the food?" Rachel smirked and said, "I'll give Yevgeny one last chance." Yevgeny turned to look at Cheyenne, determination flickering in his eyes. Rachel's voice hardened as she ordered, "Kill Cheyenne's parent, that woman." Cheyenne leaned forward slightly, placing the bag of food gently on the ground. Yevgeny, gripping the moment, thought to himself that this was truly his final chance to prove his worth. He looked up and said firmly, "The food was delicious." In that instant, he vowed silently, "I will kill Cheyenne's mother." Cheyenne clenched his fists, his face tightening with resolve. "I'll take the child back," he declared with unwavering confidence. Rachel's eyes narrowed as she realized that Cheyenne still regarded her as a threat. And that's where our video ends. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and leave a comment down below. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're updated on our next content. Until the next video, take care always.